Hey guys, just quickly want to walk through the Kairos Circle with you for continued training of this. Um, I think it's really important because the thing that we're going after with people is life transformation that only Jesus can bring. And so when we look at this Kairos Circle, we really want to give everyone a really good handle on how to use it, how to use this in our own lives, how to use it in their lives, and how to even walk other people that they're meeting with, whether it's people of peace, people from the church, how to walk them through this as well. The better that we have a grasp on our language and the tools that we're using, I really believe the more momentum we're going to have going forward in all of this. So, here you have somebody that's just going through the normal course of life on this arrow, wherever it is that day to day living brings them. So something happens in their lives, and immediately they're thrown into this circle that they have to begin addressing. On the one half, we talk about repentance. What is it that we believe about God that isn't true about God, but it plays out in our lives? Belief or believe we use here by way of what does our life actually show? For us, believe is not something that we just cognitively say yay or nay to, but it's what our life shows by way of what we think and believe about God. And so something happens in our lives, good news, bad news, some kind of life-changing experience, could be something small that we see in our parenting or how we live life at home with our spouse, and we begin to notice something. We begin to notice a type of jarring experience, underneath our soul. We see this, we observe it, we begin to ask questions about this, and we begin to reflect on it. We begin to think on this. Why am I angry about this? Why am I super excited about this opportunity that's going on in my life? It doesn't matter the kind of emotion that's taking place, but we're beginning to observe that something's happening. We begin to reflect on this thing, and naturally, as humans, we want to talk about this. We want to find people in lives that we're close to, and we can discuss exactly what's happening within our lives. Of course, this comes very clearly when there are those negative emotions that we're experiencing. And the reality is we have to begin to ask these questions. Who is God? What has he done? Who are we in light of who God is, in light of the truth of who he is, in light of the truth of who we are, and what is now true of us, especially based on what Jesus has done in our lives. Really, the big question that we're looking on that repentance side of the Kairos circle is, what is God saying? What is it that God is trying to communicate to me in this moment, as I'm experiencing life, as clearly there's something going on within my soul for change. The big theme that we're addressing on this right side of the circle is identity. Many times we just want to do something to fix how we're feeling. If I can only get to X, Y, and Z, if I can only pray this long, maybe change will happen, and that's it. And so we jump to behavior rather quickly in our Western world without necessarily identifying and addressing what's happening beneath the surface. So on this side of the circle, it's huge because God is addressing our identity. Again, the questions that we're looking at deal with identity. Well, who is God? Who am I? What is God doing? What is God up to? What is it that God is communicating? What is the truth? As opposed to the lie that I've so easily succumbed to believe. Something that came up in conversation recently was a person believing that their friend would not attend a church service. Why is that person believing that? Why has that person predetermined the outcome that that person will never come to church? We're already saying that God is not going to do something. Well, is God in the habit of breaking through and changing and bringing life transformation, or is that not his business? Immediately right there, something simple, probably many of us have said it, and yet really it's an identity issue. It brings up deeper things. So as we lead people through the Kairos circle, the reality is we want to help people deal with identity. We ourselves want to be able to deal with our identity. I'd make one more mention before I keep going here. Just because someone has a Kairos moment does not equate life transformation. I think we've kind of been using that term synonymously, and that's actually not right. People can have a Kairos moment and decide that they're going to walk away from life transformation. That's a reality. Of course, you need to have a Kairos moment to walk through the Kairos circle, but let's not jump ahead and just start saying, oh, I had a Kairos moment this, and so had a Kairos moment here. That's great, but where is it leading? I think for us as Christians in the Christian world, hanging out in this right hand of the circle, right side of the circle, is comfortable, it's easy, and we generally don't move beyond that. We have this cool aha moment, and nothing really changes in our lives. We may feel better about ourselves and about our circumstances for a time, but nothing generally happens from there. So I think that's really key in understanding the circle and understanding discipleship. It's what's going to change. Now that God has communicated this, now that God has straightened out our thinking, how, functionally speaking, are we going to change moving forward, right? So that's where having a plan, a tangible plan, is so important. Because if not, basically our lives just kind of become a huge filing folder of things that we cognitively say yes to, but never play out into our day-to-day living. So we want to be very much aware of that. Big question on this side of the circle is, what am I going to do based on what God is saying? So God is communicating something to be true about Him. Let's take that example I just shared with you just a couple of moments ago. This person's believing that they'll never come. This person's never going to come to a service. Not really interested in God. Well, maybe part of this person's plan is to begin to pray every single day for some deep things to happen, for this person to come to a place of where they're desperate. They're desperate for God, right? So on this side of the circle, the big theme is now behavior, right? God has dealt with our identity on the right side, right? God, I've been believing that there are things, yeah, you will do, you can do, but there's probably some other things that you're not gonna do, and people can stop you. In essence, people can stop you from doing things in their lives. That's a lie. That the enemy wants us to believe that God can't, and that's not true of who God is. And so now we can move into behavior, right? Instead of going through a process where we feel bad about something, or we feel guilty, or yeah, I guess I should pray, and I'll just start praying. If nothing happens beneath the surface, identity-wise in me, whatever behaviors I choose for myself will be short-lived, and true transformation won't come. So we're looking at behavior on this side. So there's a plan on this side of it. Who's going to keep me accountable? Not to keep a record, but who's going to be a spiritual partner with me in this as I walk through this change? Who's going to be the person that I'm going to share about my friend and praying for them, every day, and what my prayers look like, and maybe this individual can push me a little harder in things that I'm praying for and asking about. But the reality is we're partnering this together, not looking at this as just a checks and balances sort of thing. And then, of course, action. There's a plan. Someone's going to help me keep accountable on that plan, and I have to actually see this thing through, so that on this side of the circle, I'm no longer staying on this path here that I've been on my whole life, believing that God can't, but I'm living a new free life, heading in a new different direction of what God will do. So that's just one example. Again, Kairos Circle, why are we talking about this? We want this stuff to be natural conversation for you. As you get together with your MC members, this is the stuff that you're looking at. Are we helping one another, leaders and MC members, back and forth? Are we helping one another become keenly aware of what God is doing? Are we helping our members become keenly aware of what God is trying to do in their lives, in their friends' lives? And are we resourcing them to be able to do this on their own and do this with the people that are in their lives? So I hope this was beneficial. I hope some of this brought a little bit more clarity for you. Again, a Kairos moment does not equate life transformation. There's actually work to be done if transformation is going to come. Have a great day, guys, and I look forward to sending you other cool videos. Thanks.